Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Wolfstalker25, and today I have a brand new set of action figure model kit reviews for you guys. These are the Blokees Series 2, Wave 2 of the Classic version, or I think I saw somewhere labeled like Version-S or Classic Version-S or something like that, which I would assume stands for small, whereas you have your Version L's back there being the Charizard. So, pretty cool Wave 2 here. So, I don't know what the previous review was, whether it was the Version L's back there, Wave 1 of being Charizard, Cerulege, Meowscarada, and Greninja, or if it was the previous Wave 1 being Riolu, Psyduck, Eevee, Sprigatito, Pikachu, and Charmander. But either way, this is Wave 2, so this is kind of like a look at it. So, you got Bulbasaur and Squirtle to like round out the rest of the Kanto starters. I guess you could really say you rounded them all out because Eevee and Pikachu were done previously as well. You have Charcadet, which I guess, you know, is your Generation 9 representation for like what would be considered the new game at the time. You know, this being 3 years ago when that game came out, but still, these figures did come out this year in 2025. Recently, actually, these were like a October release for Wave 2. You got a random Generation 1 being Slowpoke. Fits in, I guess, with your random Generation 1 of Psyduck last time. Another semi-popular starter being Scorbunny, Generation 8 starter. Just kind of like your Sprigatito being included last time. And then your popular Generation 4 being Munchlax. As well as, you know, previously we had Riolu. So, and then I guess this was an indication of what was to come in the future because, you know, as of recently, mid-November, I think it was like end of October, they revealed Wave 2 of the large figures included Snorlax. So Munchlax and Snorlax and Charcadet with the previous Cerulege, and also we did get Cinderace in the second wave of the large figures too. And then Riolu kind of hinted at Lucario in that second wave as well. So, you know, everybody's kind of had their evolutions enter somewhere into this realm. So this is what it looks like when you go to build one of these figures, this being Bulbasaur's little review sheet. So like you snap together the body, the head, you know, they put the mouth in there, the bulb. You have two extra versions on how you could do for Bulbasaur with the lower bulb section. You could have his vines equipped for the Vine Whip, and you got the little bases, like always, for your little diorama display. So that's your, you know, look at that. As well as one last little thing that you do get included with this is you do get these cool little holographic like display cards telling you the Pokedex number and, you know, what type it is. I believe that's, you know, what those are. So yeah, fire, you know, then you get Slowpoke, Scorbunny, and for some reason I don't know where my Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Munchlax ones are, as well as Munchlax's base. I've misplaced these. I've had these guys for, you know, well over a month now, and I just have misplaced where I put things. So apologies. I'll try to include a picture of what Munchlax's base looks like somewhere if it wasn't included on that little, you know, and like guide that I showed. First up though, we'll start with Bulbasaur, Pokemon number 1. So interesting little base. You get a little like set of, oh god, what are these things? Can't remember the name of these are. You know, officially I think they're usually cattails. Is that what they're called? I can't remember. So here's Bulbasaur. I do have the Vine Whip bulb on him, so Bulbasaur does come with the included vines as well that you could plug in. So snap that in there, and then put this one in here, and you know, here's your cursed Bulbasaur without the bulb. It does have a little groove there that you line up, and there you go. Get the included vines. Yeah, Bulbasaur does also come with a bottom base for the bulb as well, if you do want to, you know, have this and not have the holes visible, if you don't want the Vine Whips included for his vines. So Bulbasaur, interesting articulation on this guy. Head looks down, head looks up a little bit, a little side to side, nothing super crazy. Mouth closes, mouth opens. Legs don't go forward at all. They go back a little bit. There. Is there a foot rotation on Bulbasaur? I can't remember. Yeah, so the back foot rotates. Does the front? Yes. Yeah, it does. It does, but it's weirder. So there's a little rotation right there. Oh, let me get the focus. Right there. The bulb doesn't spin. The back legs go back and forward a little bit. Out. They get a little bit of out. So, and in, not very much either. So there's your look at Bulbasaur. So one of my favorite Pokemon in all of Pokemon. So really cool to have like a nice, like larger, articulated, well-scaled Bulbasaur in some sort of, almost 6-inch scale line. Here's Squirtle's base. He does get this like translucent, like water effect with some paint on it. A little rock on his base. Pretty nice. Squirtle does have alright articulation, being the fact that you could get the arms, kind of a little bit of rotation there. The mouth does close on Squirtle. Mouth opens. Squirtle can look up, down, not really at all. Little bit of side to side. The tail is on a ball joint, so you could kind of bring it out in, rotate it left, rotate it right. And then the feet do have a little rotation down there at the ankle. No pivot or anything like that. And then the legs can kick up, back, in, out. So a little bit of movement on Squirtle. Not a ton of articulation, but he's a turtle. What do you expect? Slowpoke. This is where I'm a little disappointed. And I kind of spoke on this in the first series of reviews for these guys for Wave 1. So if you want to go check out some of my opinions on those guys and see more in depth on the Wave 1 figures. Slowpoke here is usually on 4 legs. They chose to give him a pose sitting, which is fine, but unfortunately I would have preferred him to be, on all 4s, but you would almost need to modify him and put a hole back here somewhere in the neck, so then the head could be like upright like that. Unfortunately, you can't do that, but he does get a little side to side, a little up, a little down, not much. The tail does get a bit of movement. You could do a full 360. You could go side to side. Let's focus on that. So a little side to side. Back legs up, down, out, in, a lot of out. So front legs, very limited. But I would have loved for Slowpoke to have been able to get into a 4-legged stance. For the base, you do get the same little question mark, reusing that from Psyduck. You get the booty print for Slowpoke to sit, and it's just a little nice water-like effect with a cool little rock that you get. So yeah, there's your Slowpoke. Again, I was excited actually for Slowpoke. I'm a little bummed out with him just because I would have liked him to have been able to do that 4-legged pose. Then we'll move on to Generations 4's representation, being Munchlax. Again, no alternate mouth. Slowpoke could have benefited from an alternate head piece, I feel like, whereas Munchlax could have just benefited from an alternate face or maybe an opening closing jaw. But Munchlax could do up, down, little side to side, arms out, in. You could do a full 360 with the arms as well, so you could bring them up into kind of like a waving, bring them in, out. You got a little bit of rotation there. And then the feet, you do get, full pivot on both because they're just on a ball peg. You can spin them and everything like that. So there's Munchlax. Pretty cool. Nicely detailed as well. And then here's one of the ones I'm really kind of disappointed with. Here's Scorbunny. And Scorbunny, unfortunately, the legs have no rotation. So Scorbunny always needs this base. The arms can rotate. I think they're on just a peg into the body, so they have just a little forward and back. Actually, no, the arms are one individual piece. I forgot about that. The head, the ears have a little bit of a side to side. They're on a ball, and then the peg for the head as well. You can make them look down, side. Yeah, Scorbunny is very disappointing because you have to slot him into his little fire base for his feet and everything like that, because he can't stand on his own. I mean, he looks good on the base, but unfortunately Scorbunny really would have benefited from an extra set of legs to get him in like a normal neutral standing pose. And then you got Charcadet, who kind of has a similar problem to Scorbunny, where the legs, you could bring them forward, back, out. The arms are the thing. I can't remember if Charcadet comes with an extra set of arms. There's a possibility he does, but I don't think so. But they're set in this fixed position, and there goes one popping out. They're just on a ball joint as well. And then the head, you get a little down, a little up, a little side to side. You can do a full 360 with the head. The little flame piece on top of the head is just, again, a little slot in peg. Just get that down as far as it will go. But Charcadet looks cool. Unfortunately, without the base, he can stand on his own, but you're going to be playing around with it for quite a bit to get it to work. Oh yeah, and then you do get the little flame piece on the back that could just go up, down, a little side to side as well. So yeah, Charcadet's base looks kind of nice. References probably his... I don't think he's a ghost type at this point. I think he's just pure fire. So it's kind of like referencing him becoming that ghost typing with Ceruledge, which is pretty nice. And now he's not standing back in his base. There we go. So yeah, Charcadet's cool. Unfortunately, kind of can't stand very well on his own as well because of just those legs. So overall thoughts really quick before getting into size comparisons on these guys. Really cool. The printing on all of them is nice. The molds for all of them, really good. If I had to rank them, favorite to least favorite being Bulbasaur, second being Squirtle, third being Munchlax. Fourth is probably Charcadet or Slowpoke. It's kind of an up in the air. If Slowpoke could do that on all fours pose, Slowpoke would have definitely been the next favorite. But Charcadet probably is my next favorite because you could do a little bit more with him. He's not stuck in that one fixed pose like Slowpoke is. Then Slowpoke, if not Charcadet, like I said, they're kind of interchangeable. And then next is Scorbunny. Scorbunny's obviously my least favorite here. While the printing and everything and model looks really good and it looks like Scorbunny, he's bound to the base. And as for my taste in a figure, I want them to be a little bit more dynamic or be able to do more things than just kind of almost be a statue in a way. It's kind of the bummer with that one. So really quick, hopefully I don't get attacked by cats like I did in my first video. I had to do a lot of cuts, but if we do a quick look at size comparisons really quick, Munchlax height wise is about 2.5 inches tall, almost to the top of the ears. Squirtle, little over 2.25 ish. Scorbunny is stuck to the base, but if we do go to the top of his ears, he's about 2.5 to that one. Yeah, about 2.5. Charcadet as well, to the top of his little flame piece, about 2.75 inches tall. Then we got Bulbasaur here, who to the top of his bulb, about 2.25. And Slowpoke. Sitting down, Slowpoke being our tallest yet at 3.5 to the top of an ear. So interesting size wise of what we got going on here. Let me get some of these bases out of here, and then we'll take off these vines for Bulbasaur so we can get a little bit more space. So let's get these two bases out of here. Those two could stand on their own. And in comparison to the Jazwares base being just the big circle Pokeball with the stand, these are a nice, kind of refreshing thing that we got going on for our Pokemon here. Oh, there's the snake, guys. I don't know where it was last time. So yeah, here's Cinderace, and then we'll put Charcadet over here, just a little bit taller, being that. So size comparison wise with some other lines, And then we'll bring in like some of our Pokemon representation at the end. We'll do our Figma Samus and our Star Wars Black Series Captain Rex. We'll also bring in the Fortnite, what was this? Victory Royale, Battle Royale series, the Foundation, another canceled line from Hasbro, and then we'll bring in our other canceled line, being the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Mighty Morphin Red. We'll get rid of this guy and Captain Rex. We'll bring out our Marvel Legend, our Mark 1 Iron Man. Then we got our Fortnite, not Fortnite, G.I. Joe Classified Snake Eyes. I'm sorry. I forgot to do it last time, but here's your Jada Toys Mega Man, and this Jazwares who did the Mario from the Mario movie. But as you can see with, Squirtle, Squirtle's a part of Super Smash Bros. So that's kind of like your look size-wise for those guys, which actually works pretty well. So if you're doing a Smash display, this Squirtle might be the way to go. Hopefully we get like a medium-sized line of figures, maybe. I mean, they do the large, but some of these larger, like some of these small, like Slowpoke, I feel like almost could fit in a medium size. So, but hopefully we get things like Wartortle, Ivysaur, Charmeleon from Blokees as well. That'd be really cool. We got your Mythic Legion, 1000 toys, Jazwares, Mafex, and lastly here we got your SH Figure Arts. So there's your size comparison with the Pokemon there. So if you want to cross over with DC, or you have Mafex characters that you want to use as like Pokemon trainers, or you just want to do an overall game display, there's your look at like Halo figures. And then lastly, we'll bring in the McFarlane. Here's the new Fallout T60 Power Armor. So there you go. There's your look at all of those guys. Pretty cool, pretty good. I really like the look of these Pokemon figures with all these other lines. Unfortunately, no one here has a evolution that's been made besides Charcadet and, well, I guess Cinderace does this too. We got Cinderace. So we'll put Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Slowpoke back here. We'll bring out our Figma Gloria really quick, for her comparison, because she's got to get in here. She's the only Pokemon trainer that I got, so got to use her where I can. So there we go. Scale-wise, I mean, pretty good. Pretty good, I think. Everybody fits here relatively well, I think. Nobody looks like super huge next to her. Like Bulbasaur kind of looks a little big, but nothing like overly large to the point where it doesn't look like it works. And so up next, we'll bring in our Series 2 of the large figures, being Snorlax. So here's a look at Munchlax, Gloria, and Snorlax. And pretty good, honestly. Works really well. Then, since this could have been her partner, we got Scorbunny. And here's the Jazwares Cinderace, obnoxiously large. And then here's the Blokees Cinderace. Let me get him off his little base. And he just comical size-wise between the Jazwares and the Blokees. I guess you could say the Jazwares Cinderace is a extra large size-wise, but there you go. So get him out of here. We'll bring in an epic battle figure really quick, just to take a look at what our epic battle figures look like in this size comparison. So here's your epic battle figure Skeledirge, being one of the newer at the time of recording this video. Unfortunately, I have not found the Tyrantrum or the rumored Golurk that is floating around. He doesn't really stand up on his own very well. The arms are very loose. But yeah, my target was loaded with these recently. So if you're looking for that Skeledirge, that's where to go. But yeah, there's your size comparisons with those. Really quick, we'll get Charcadet a little closer. And here is the Jazwares. I have not done a review on this guy yet. I really need to go back around and get this review done. It's one of those few that, you know, in my hiatus of recording, I just never recorded it. But there's your Ceruledge Jazwares figure, as well as your Blokees. So, again, comical size-wise, but Charcadet, I feel like size-wise really works with either one. It's really no downside to either. Some are just larger than others, you know, figure-wise here. So not bad, not horrible. And then lastly, we'll just bring in a few more figures, just Jazwares related Pokemon ones, just like kind of size comparison here. It's like Jazwares and then a Bandai model kit. So I feel like Gengar's a little too small. We'll get Squirtle back in here and get the base out of here. So yeah, like there's just like a random assortment of figures here. Really quickly though, I do want to bring in a couple other people. We got the Series 1 Charmander here, which looks good with the other two. Really completes the look. And then you got Pikachu. So we'll bring in your, Ash representation. So there's him with all his little starters that you got. Unfortunately, I don't have an Ash figure. And then your last Kanto starter, Eevee. And all 5 of these look great. My only complaint, and I said this in the first video, is Charmander just looks eternally angry. I feel like Squirtle and Bulbasaur could have used alternate angry face plates, whereas Charmander could use an alternate happy face plate. So yeah. So let's get Snorlax out of here. Oh, there goes Gloria. We'll get the Heracross out of here. Oh, and then yeah, I forgot about this comparison for the video. Here is a Jazwares Bulbasaur. This is one of the few sizes. They have a couple different sizes of Bulbasaur, but this is one of those like non-articulated, mini battle figures, like in the 2-inch line or whatever they like to call them. But like here's just a comparison between the Bulbasaurs, and it's just funny how much bigger, and in my opinion better looking, this Bulbasaur is than this one. These are just so tiny, and I just don't know what these are supposed to be scaled for. Like, if you had a Pokemon trainer for this, it'd have to be like 3 inches tall to like do anything, and then it's gonna be unarticulated and just like not very great. So I don't know. I think overall this Blokees one just scales so much better with other things. Really quickly though, we're gonna do our ranking that I have been doing with these waves, just kind of favorite to least favorite. So overall favorite here, if I had to rank them, it'd probably be this order right here. Bulbasaur being the favorite, Squirtle, Munchlax. Up in the air between these two. So either one is kind of, depending on what's going on, my favorite. So if I had to do an overall ranking, bringing in Series 1, we got my favorite being Bulbasaur, Squirtle being my second favorite, Eevee, Charmander. It's kind of a tough call here because I really love all these 4 at the front. Bulbasaur, I think, definitely is my preferred favorite of the bundle. Then we'll put Sprigatito. And then I think I like this Charcadet a little bit more than the Riolu. Then Slowpoke. Then Cinderace or Scorbunny. Actually, yeah, this would probably be my definitive ranking if I were to rank Wave 1 and 2 with each other Bulbasaur would be my favorite. Squirtle, Eevee, Charmander. I think these two could switch. And honestly, this whole bundle here could switch. Like Charmander could go here, Squirtle could go next, then Eevee, and then Eevee could be second. I just think that Eevee's just a fantastic little figure. It's articulated basically everywhere you'd want it to be. The only downside is it doesn't have like kind of like a battle face, or like it can't get into a little like further down pose if it was battling. Oh, we forgot Psyduck. I'm so sorry. Psyduck would be right here. So Munchlax, Psyduck, Charcadet, Riolu. So yeah, there's my definitive out of all 12 that have released so far. And scale wise, I think they all look great. I really wouldn't change anything about anyone besides maybe shrinking Riolu a tiny bit, like size wise. Everybody else though, I think is great, and they all fit in here fantastically. And I'm really just kind of happy with everybody here. Just to throw in a couple more, Blokees really quick just in here. We'll just take a size look at what these guys look like. Oh, what is that? Oh, we lost a base. So, just a little size comparison with Gloria and all her little Pokemon friends here. Yeah, I think these guys are all scaling really well, and even if you just mix in a Jazware here or there, I think even these work. You throw a Raichu into the mix, and I think it all looks good. Charizard looks good in the background. I could have pulled him forward a little closer, but you guys get the idea. These guys all look great. I'm very happy to have them. So yeah, for this wave, I think it's very solid, and I hope Blokees at some point, we've already seen wave 3. I already have it in hand. There's wave 2 of the big guys back there with that whole bit. So I think overall though, I'm really excited to see where this line goes, because they're really hitting some kind of out there picks, being like Slowpoke, and I know Psyduck is somebody's favorite at the company, for Pokemon Company, so obviously that's why that was picked. But Munchlax is kind of not out there, but it's not the first thing you'd think of about them making a model kit. Charcadet's definitely not one for me. Slowpoke isn't one, so this is a good variety so far. So I'm curious to see where we go from here. So yeah, this is the Blokees figure so far, wave 2. I like them all. I'm really happy with them. I'm going to keep getting them, and I'm going to keep reviewing them. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did find this review helpful by any means, would always appreciate a like and a subscribe. If you haven't done so already, it does help me out a lot. Do greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get into the swing of things for reviews again. I've been absent for about a year or so. Life kind of hit. Things changed. New job. Got 2 cats. 2 cats have been kind of a handful. They're both baby kittens, so they're a lot to deal with, and So thank you guys for everybody who has stuck around the channel so far, and for anyone new, hi, how's it going? Appreciate all you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.